Hello everybody and welcome to Zelda Speedruns, broadcasting the Link's Awakening DX 80% Tournament 2021. This is lower bracket round 1. It's whitewolfos versus Johan. Commentating for us is Pink Batman. Say hello everybody.
Hello everybody. Guys, how are you all doing today? Thank you so much, Ricky, for that wonderful introduction. I love the energy. Guys, who's ready for some Link's Awakening today? I know I am. I'm very excited for this. Today we got whitewolfos versus Carl Johan in an any percent no OOB category. What that means is no world warp or out of bounds. No world warp, meaning all doors have to transition to where they belong to. No silly shenanigans like doghouse glitches or anything like that. And out of bounds, you have to transition, or you have to be within 3 pixels of a tile that you're allowed to be on, with some other small restrictions here and there. Those rules all exist somewhere in the community. I'm not 100% sure I remember where exactly. Looks like our countdown has started, so our runners are getting ready to start. There's a lot to cover in this run. I'm going to do the best I can to try to cover that as much as I can when those things appear. So I suppose we'll just start right from the beginning here. We wake up in our bed. Marin is there to greet us hello. We say bye, Marin, and we go talk to Taryn instead. Taryn's going to give us our first item of the game, which is our shield. You know it's our shield because it has our name on it. Now, there's not much you can do with the shield here at the beginning of the game, other than go to the beach. So we're going to do that first. We're going to go get our sword. We kind of have to get that to really just open up the entirety of the game. We use our shield to push these spiky boys out of the way. Both runners taking different routes. There's 2 different ways you can really get the sword. Johan, looking like he's getting the early boost, getting the sword before the owl starts talking. That saves a small bit of time. whitewolfos also getting her sword as well before the owl flies off. That also saves a little bit of time as opposed to the owl finishing his thing. Now they're going to be doing something called rupee duping. If you collect a rupee, or if a rupee drops and you hit it at the same time with both Link's and the shield's hitbox, it will duplicate the rupee. And yeah, that's rupee duping. However, it looks like neither of our runners were unfortunately able to get 10 rupees on the beach, which is fine. It's normal to happen. So instead, they have to come up here to the bush field and hope RNGesus is on their side. It's a 1 in 16 chance for each bush or grass to drop a rupee, and they need 10 in total before they can go to the shop here. They will first steal the shovel by taking it away from the shopkeeper's watchful eye, and they will go back in and buy some bombs with the 10 rupees they have. How they work is if you if you save quit before you actually buy the bombs, the rupees will not be taken out of your account. And this is very important because we need these rupees down in the trendy game shop, where we will get early powder, which just saves us a lot of time and a huge side quest later on. Because we really only need the powder in one location unless we screw things up at the end of the game. So getting the powder now is just so much faster and so much easier. And we are done with rupees for the entire game. We do not need any more rupees for the rest of the run. So what Carl here is going to do is he's going to enter this house just to set a save quit point. And from here he's going to head into the mysterious forest to grab the tail key. Now, the forest introduces our first major trick of the run, known as bomb triggers. Bomb triggers are if you place a bomb within 4 frames of each other during a transition, it will trigger any form of cutscene that is set to happen in that room, such as the owl flying in, or, for example, Terran turning from a raccoon into a human, like we just saw there on Carl's side. It saves us a cutscene of having to watch Terran bounce around the entire screen, saves a ton of time. Even if you're not able to get that bomb trigger quite immediately, it saves enough time that it just doesn't even matter. whitewolfos here lining it up. Looks like she's got the right pixel, and she does. Very nice, very nice. Carl already heading into D1, opening the keyhole from the side because, of course. whitewolfos also making her way to D1 right now. D1 having probably the most broken item in the game, our feather, which we will see in a little bit here. The feather can be used for a lot of things in this run, and it just totally breaks this entire speedrun open. Without the shenanigans that the feather causes, this would be a much longer speedrun. What we're going to use that feather for is something called super jumping. Super jumping is if you are clipped into a wall. All walls in this game are treated as kind of ledges that you can jump down from above. If you're clipped in the wall, you can actually trick the game into thinking that you are actually on top of that ledge, causing you to jump off the ledge from below. Hence, super jump. So, Carl's got her feather now. He's going to go perform the first super jump in the game here to just totally skip over this key block, saving us the need to grab an extra key in this dungeon to get the nightmare key up here. And then he's going to do the same thing coming back down. And then use it once again to jump over this wall. We just super jump over everything in this game. There's a wall in the way, we just jump over it. Looks like both runners had a little trouble with this hard hat beetle here in the beginning. That's fine, that jump can be a little tricky. Both runners, or at least Carl, now dealing with the most difficult boss in the game. It's very strange. The first dungeon of the game, hardest boss in the game. But he deals with Moldorm first try, no problem whatsoever. Moldorm is just an RNG nightmare. He chooses wherever he wants to go. Doesn't really care what you want or what you think. He will do whatever he wants to do. Also, if you get knocked into a pit, he kicks you out of the room and you have to do the whole fight over again. It's not fun. Luckily, Carl made short work of Moldorm. We're about to see Moldorm again here over on whitewolfos' screen. Hopefully it goes well. Ooh, unfortunate. Wolfos falling down the pit. Luckily, you can actually jump up from that 2D section and come right back up at the stairs on the top. Moldorm takes 4 hits to kill, or a spin slash and 2 hits, or 2 spin slashes. There you go. Very nice. Getting it on the second try. That is totally fine. Carl is now making his way to D2. We can't actually get into D2 yet. So first, we need to go save the best Zelda character in the game, Bow Wow. Definitely a Zelda character, not a Mario character. I don't know where you heard that. It's not true. But first we have to fight a whole bunch of moblins here. Moblin fights pretty straight up. Let him run into the wall. Slash him with your sword. Easy as that. Nice clean King Moblin fight from Carl. And there he is, the good boy himself. Alright, well, now that we have Bow Wow, now we will actually go to D2. The normal path to D2 is a very long walk around, so we're going to take a little shortcut here with something called a flop clip, where we take advantage of the text box here of pushing into this block to clip ourselves to the left, and that just lets us push right through it. And Carl just getting absolutely amazing RNG with Bow Wow there, eating the flower almost immediately. That is... You're always very happy to see that. That is... Actually got him a very nice time save, too. Wolfo's having a little bit of trouble with the second Moblin room, but it's fine. Now making her way along to King Moblin as well. Ooh, fighting from above King Moblin can be a little tricky sometimes, but it looks like she is managing just fine and gets the kill second cycle. You love to see it. Meanwhile, Carl making their way through D2 here. So you'll notice a lot of these mini bosses and enemies, they die very, very quickly to the bow. We are not... The game does not expect us to have the bow at this point. Usually the game expects you to have the rupees to buy the bow around D5-ish or so. At least that's the first dungeon that has like actual arrow pickups for you to collect. But since we steal the bow, obviously we have all those rupees, or we don't need those rupees. So we can use them to just absolutely quick kill everything in the beginning. Very quickly. So you notice both Wolfos and Carl took did two different kind of item setups through D2 here. Wolfos using her sword while Carl used his bow. Arrows are a very limited resource in this game. You can save time by using your arrows early, but you'll also kind of limit yourself to the amount of arrows you'll have later on, which can be dangerous and can cost you time later on. But that is a risk sometimes you have to take for good times in this game. Carl now going for Villa Skip. I didn't get to see how many buffers he did there, but I think he only did 4, which is pretty dang good, honestly. Villa Skip, if you are on that pit above the field here, and you... Oh, very nice escape as well. And you pause as you land on the pit, you can actually pause buffer until you hear Link fall. And when you hear that, if you just hold down, it'll actually clip Link down into the transition and just float you down into the flower field, thereby skipping the entire Candlelit Castle trade sequence. Now moving into D3 after opening the keyhole with his spaghetti arms. I was going to have to be very careful here. He's only got half a heart left. Death in D3 is unfortunate, because at this point in the game we are actually trying to pay attention to... Oh my gosh. That was... Oh, that scared me a little bit. We are trying to pay attention to the number of kills we get going up through D3. Because we're looking for something called Piece of Power, which gives us... It makes us go fast and it gives us extra damage. Getting that Pizza Power. Now trying to do Dodongo Skip, which he gets first try. Not a problem. Definitely not a hard trick at all. And he gets a backup Sarts here. So Carl is fine for the time being. Attempting the French bonk to jump up here. It gets it just fine first try. That is a... Well, I would say huge time save. I think it saves about 2 seconds, but it is still much more swag, much more fun to watch. but it is also a very difficult trick. Doing another flock clip to kind of push ourselves past that last key block there. Wolfos has already done her villa. Now using her spaghetti arms to once again open D3 and head inside. Here we have Slime Eye, who's can be quite difficult boss, or can be quite a difficult boss if you let him get out of control. But with pizza power, he goes down very easily, and Carl gets his third instrument. So now while Carl is leaving the dungeon and going to have another chat with the owl, we just love the owl so much. Wolfos is here. Ooh, she actually might get pizza power early here, it looks like. Potentially in this room right here. Nope, I lied. I miscounted. Should get it here, though. There it is. Don't pick up that acorn. We don't like acorns. They give us double defense, essentially. You just take half damage from everything, which, I mean, sounds safe, but it does not save us any time whatsoever. Especially not here in this point of the game, where we just need to go fast. Carl is actually taking damage on these slimes over here. I forget what they're actually called. But he's going to be doing Walrus Skip now. Walrus Skip, you do a bomb trigger here to trigger this cutscene. And then he holds left. And he does nothing but hold left. He does not press any other buttons. He does not go up, he does not go down, he goes left. Because if he does, he potentially soft locks his whole game. And that is no fun for anybody. Normally we have to come here with Marin, and Marin sings a song for the walrus, getting the walrus to wake up and fall on its own, but we skip all of that with the bomb trigger. However, the consequences of doing that trigger is it locks out all of our buttons except for our directional pad. The only things that let us use our buttons again are if we either die or enter a cave. Entering a cave is slow, very long way away, so we die instead, which is why we took all those damage to those slimes earlier. Now we sacrifice a couple arrows to the bits of the sand. There's definitely no mini-boss here, none whatsoever. Wolfos, oh, is totally fine. It looked like she got stuck inside a slime eye there, but no problems whatsoever. D3 is done, and now Wolfos will also make her way to Walrus Skip. While Carl, now that he is done in the desert, is going to go, instead of going to D4, we're going to come to the Armos Maze. This is where runs go to die sometimes. These Armos Knights hit like a freaking freight train. The Knights themselves deal 2 hearts of damage apiece. So if you're not careful here, sometimes they can get the better of you. As long as you know how to get through the maze, you should be totally fine. And then this is the Master Armos Knight. I forget what his actual name is. Ooh, oh. Carl, please. You're fine. Okay. Armos Knight will either go very poorly or very well, and that started to look like it was going to go poorly, but Carl recovered very nicely there. Gets the kill. Armos Knight deals a heart and a half worth of damage, and it is very easy to lose control. We have setups for how to fight him, but if those setups go awry, it can be tricky to get yourself back into a good position to deal with them. So, now that we've completed D3, we've got the D4 key, we've got the D6 key. Instead of going D4, we're going to go D6. Because we know how to count. It's very easy. It's 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, 5, 7, 8, 2, 9. Right? I think that's how you count to 9. Sounds about right. So anyway, normally you need hookshot to get here, but that pit is very convenient in that we can literally just jump across it. We're going to let Bow Wow eat the cutscene here by bomb-honoring it. Math and counting on stream, I know. Who'd imagine? So Bow Wow eating the cutscene saves quite a bit of time. We don't have to watch the entrance to D6 raise out of the ground or any of that stuff. It saves a lot of time, and it's very easy to set up. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh no, who is that? I've never seen this before. I did not know there was a mini-boss here. Uh-oh, wait. Oh no, Wolfos! Well, that is very unfortunate. Wolfos now having to walk out of the desert. Yes. Normally that key is supposed to fall down that pit and you're supposed to jump down, but we skipped that because we have to listen to this owl instead. Oh gosh, Carl, please. Oh, Carl, taken to death. Entering the tile room with, I think he had half a heart when he walked in. Statue wants to walk away. Yes, this room can be quite difficult sometimes if your health is very low. Fortunately. Yes, the tiles only deal a half heart damage, but sometimes you're only about a half heart when you walk in. But he gets the Wizrobe room just fine. And honestly, with the way his times are looking, I don't think it's going to matter too much. Unless he spends a lot of time in the canal here. He actually got his last 2 splits were both gold. Carl's actually doing very well in this race here. Wolfos moving on to Armos Knight. We'll see how this fight goes for her. Very nice, very nice. Also finishing Armos Knight first try. I think I said it before, but that fight can be deceptively difficult if things go awry. There are backups for it, but generally you just want them to cooperate first, like first try. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the Armos inside the maze here actually drop arrows when they're killed, which can help a lot for our arrow routing. We do need at least a few of these arrows, especially if you're using a lot of arrows early on like Carl was. Now we're going to bomb the floor a few times here on Carl's screen. Because Facade's hitbox exists before he even appears. Slight oversight by the developers, but it's fine, because this is a very boring boss fight anyway. Just bomb the floor a few times and he's dead. Although I do love the chaos of him just throwing things around like a rampant child. And he still gets a gold split here too. That is fantastic. Carl's on a pretty good PB race pace right now. Hopefully I haven't jinxed it by saying that. Ooh, unfortunately Wolfos Bow Wow not eating a cutscene. Not a big deal. Just loses a few seconds there. Now proceeding to get her level 2 bracelet. PD paces It looks like Wolfo's also on a PV pace right now. Wolfos is 23 seconds behind her PB right now from entering D6, while Carl, I think, is either 26 or 36 seconds behind their PB. Or ahead of their PB, excuse me. I think it's a 36. So both runners actually doing very good on their runs. I love to see it. Carl now escaping from D6 here with a series of Jesus jumps. Carl. Okay, good. You want to make sure you go up at least a little bit there, because if you transition here and you land on that wall down below, that is considered out of bounds and it will disqualify you from the race. So just go up a tiny bit, totally fine. What is this jump? Link diving headfirst into the water, jumping with his head out onto the stairs. Oh, that was funny to watch. So pretty clean escape from Carl. Obviously a perfect escape. You just want one buffers the entire way, but that is quite the feat to achieve. So it is totally understandable if you don't get that. Ooh, very nice French bonk across the witch's hut. That bonk is actually a bit tricky to get sometimes. You can technically beat this game without Feather. It's very difficult, but it is possible. I don't think we talked about this. The super jump that Wolfos is attempting to do here. You have a 3 pixel wide gap to do this super jump. If you're too high, you actually soft lock, and if you're too low, you just won't super jump. That looked good, and she is out of there. Moving on to the rest of D6 here. Carl is now making his way over to D4. You saw him go into a cave ahead of time. That is to set his safe quit point. Because now, at this point, now that he has opened D4, all he has to do is save quit, and he appears right back at the cave he needs to be in to head to D4. Fortunately, missing the boost jump there, that's totally fine. We'll look at the obstacle skip. Ooh, I think he's a little too low. Oh, I lied. He is totally fine. He gets the first obstacle skip. You just zoom on through, enters my favorite dungeon, D4. Now, runner's going to start by going left here to get these bombs, because we need a lot of bombs for this run. After all, like I said before, bomb triggers are one of the most broken things in this game. So we need to make sure we have plenty of bombs for later on, where we're going to do many bomb triggers. Ooh, he gets the corner jump first try. I looked away. I know I saw Carl going for the clip into that key block. Or into, not the key block, the key chest with the crumble block. You can actually, if you one buffer into that block, it actually saves time over menuing to bomb arrows. But I believe you lose time if you don't get the one buffer. Oh no. Carl, no. Carl, please. Carl. Carl having some trouble with his ults there. But gets out fine. Takes a little bit of damage, but it's D4. You don't need to worry about your hearts too much here. whitewolfos now doing her escape from D6. Carl! Oh, okay. Wolfos going up. Oh. Looks like Carl must have missed the first try clip, so he went for the backup. Could he? I unfortunately looked away again. Seems I have a very bad habit of looking away from render screens at the perfect wrong times. Taking quick care of the piranha killer here, or anglerfish. And now just zooming his way out of D4. He is still ahead of his PB by 6 seconds. That's good. He did take a little mishap here in D4. But he still has plenty of time to save. It'll all come down to what happens really after, or on the way to D7. It's one of the most volatile splits in this run, in my opinion. For right now, he's just going to go for a walk. Nothing happens in this split. Meanwhile, Wolfos making her way to D4 now. Opting to go through the witch's backyard. This is totally fine because that bonk... Where? Oh, I don't usually see runners go this way. This is another option you can do. Instead of bonking across the heart piece of shame pit, you can also just go around. Once again entering the cave, set the save reset point, but first talking to the owl. We love the owl. So while she's doing that and going to open D4 and heading there, Carl has just entered D5. Probably one of the longest dungeons in the game, because of very annoying, technically mini-boss, but not actually mini-boss. I don't really know what to call him. He's just very annoying. Master Stalfos, we have to beat him 4 times in this dungeon. There's nothing we can do about it. If we were playing Hundo %, we could actually just avoid fighting him altogether. But unfortunately, we are not. So we do not have a boomerang to break the game. So we have to fight him as normal. You'll see him for the first time here in just a moment. We'll look away for a second. See if Wolfos gets obstacle skip. She does not. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too low. That's fine. It saves a quarter of a second. Not a big deal. So we actually overkill Master Stalfos 1. Because when we do, he drops a key. This actually... Mini-boss or... Iris is the anti-hero. That's powerful. He is indeed the anti-hero of the run. So anyway, we actually overkill Master Stalfos here in the first room. Because when we do, he drops a key, which we will need later on. We actually need 2 keys altogether for this dungeon. The first one we have to get, because we cannot access the rest of the dungeon without it. The second... Ooh, excuse me. The second one, there are several places where we could get keys, but they are slow, and it's just much quicker to just punish Papyrus by shooting tons of bomb arrows into his face. 4, to be exact. So we overkill him there, take his key. And technically, if you wanted to, you could kill Master Stalfos in every room he pops up. He will drop a key every time, except for the 4th one, where he is programmed to have that key turn into a hook shot instead. I looked away. Why did Wolfos go down there? Well, gets through the room here just fine. Carl now attempting the dumb jump. This is affectionately... Wow. That, that was impressive. Did not even use the bridge at all to get across that 4-tile jump. Boots jumping is supposed to only get you across 3 tiles. Ooh, that was really clean room. It's normally only supposed to get you across 3 tiles, but it can get you across that gap there. I assume because of shenanigans with the bridge, but it looks like he didn't even need it there. So now on his way to fight Master Stalfos 4. Meanwhile, Wolfos doing a P-hat skip here to jump up onto this ledge, completely skipping a 2D section and grabbing the Nightmare Key for D4. She will now be on her way to very quickly kill the D4 boss. Oh, to reset the slimes. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you for being my eyes when I cannot be there. So, Carl now has his hook shot. We're going to use this hook shot to the full degree of even more skipping of the dungeon. Except we're not going to skip as much this time. We are instead just going to totally skip the actual mini-boss of this dungeon by clipping through this wall here. Astro, to answer your question, yes. Moving on, we are now going to fight Slime-Eel, also known as Wall Snake. Much betterly named Wall Snake. He can be very trolly sometimes, like that. You want to appear on one side. Wall man, yes. You want to appear on one side of the room, he'll appear on the opposite side of the room. He'll do this as many times as he feels comfortable trolling you. But looks like he didn't give Carl too much trouble there. Wolfos. The only problem with that is he is not a skeleton, but I do like the name. And now I'm really hoping someone takes inspiration for that name and creates a wall skeleton boss in some game in the future. Because I think that would actually be really funny. Nintendo, hit us up. New enemy ideas. So, Carl is now going to make his way to D7. Going to start with one of the most volatile tricks in the game. This could make or break his PB, honestly, at this point. So the stall part? What would the Fos part be then? I don't actually know. This is interesting knowledge, though. I did not know this, so this is good knowledge to have for the future. Just enemy names. Well, in that case, I guess you could totally call it just Wolfos. The new name for Slime-Eel that I still like more than... Well, some French means bones. No idea. Well, it is... I still like Wolfos more than I like Slime-Eel. So, we're going to start calling it that. Stone, seal, and foes can be short for skull. Look, I didn't come here for a history lesson, okay? No. Oh, no. Wolfos, having trouble with Stalfos. Master Stalfos, excuse me. This is actually one of my least favorite things about this anti-hero, whatever you want to call him, is he has the jankiest hitbox I've ever dealt with. Sometimes you will sword slash him and he just won't care. It'll just go right through him. Strong enemy. I love this conversation though about Stalfos versus Wolfos in chat, and the entire historical meaning behind Stal and Fos, or the words. I'm talking about that, and oh no, Carl took a fall, unfortunately, in Rooster Skip Cave. This is I didn't even get to see why. I think he may have just thank you. Yes, the etymology of Stalfos. I don't think Bow Wow got in the way here. Oh, Bow Wow, no! What are you doing? Oh, this might be a 3 jump. Nope, he's got it. Okay, second try. That is still very fine. I think he tried to go for an unbuffer the first time. It just didn't quite cooperate with him. That's fine. Getting a second try is still pretty good. Bow Wow definitely tried to get in the way there on that second attempt. Luckily, he managed to stay out of the way for the rest of it. So we save quit at the beginning of that cave for 2 reasons. One, it's a nice, safe reset point in case we do fail Rooster Skip. But 2, it's actually going to set up a little glitch later on here at the top of D7 as well. Still one of the top 3 gaming dog companions. I agree. Bow Wow will always be a good boy, even when he's a bad boy. Very heated debate over Bow Wow and his standings. Looks like Wolfos has now defeated Master Salthos, gotten her hook shot, and will now head on to fight Wolfos. Once again, Bow Wow eating the cutscene, making him a very good boy. So D7. D7 is absolutely hilarious. Normally one of the longest dungeons in the game. It is made one of the most entertaining and shortest dungeons in the game as well. Ooh, gotta hit that switch. There you go. Also one of the most entertaining dungeons in the game because we just skip all of it. So you're supposed to get the steel ball and you're supposed to cart it through the dungeon and go up and down these 2 floors and even up to the 3rd floor to kind of wander your way around the dungeon, maneuver this ball, but instead we can just bomb trigger these pillars. It saves so much time. Nice shack jump. Ooh, very nice. Getting a bomb trigger off the explosion of the other one. Man, that was very clean bomb triggers there. Very, very nice. Also, I didn't mention this, but he only lost 10 seconds on that split to Rooster Skip. So he is only a second ahead of his PB at this point. Child, salt rope. All the similar stuff. Did he just get... Oh, he did! Sorry, I was so distracted reading about the etymology here of Stelphos again. So Goomba Surf, another difficult trick. 25% chance of the Goombas working in your favor. I'll talk about that in a second here. Totally not sans. So what we're going to do here is we're going to hookshot this bird in the face, facing up, so that we can now shoot downwards instead. And the hookshot will actually go through the floor and hit the bird in the sky, making this very easy boss fight. And we actually have to save quit at some point between when we warped from D5 to now in order to set that glitch up. If you don't, if there's like a warp in between there and you don't save quit, it screws up the trick. I believe it makes the floor a solid tile. But took care of that very quickly. We will talk about Goomba Surf when we get to it on Wolfos' screen. For now, Carl is going to make his way on to D8 here. So one of the first things we have to do on the way to D8 here is get across this bridge. Marin is there. Supposedly the Moblins put her up there. Somehow, the Moblins, who can't jump, put her on a bridge. Honestly, I think she's just full of it. And so, instead of hookshotting, oh my... It's a good thing you went a little bit higher there. Instead of hookshotting the rock to save her. We're just going to jump right past her. It's not even that far of a jump. We can literally just walk right past her. So continuing on the path, you will note that we did not get the mirror shield in D7. That is because we don't need it. It is a useless piece of wood. It's still better than the love story. So we don't need, like I was saying, we don't need that mirror shield. It's a useless piece of wood. All we need are boots and a dream. As long as you are clipped into the wall here, like that, the flame jet here will try to push you backwards, but it will instead... okay, well, Carl decides he wants to do the flame skip a second time, just to show it off. Love to see it. But yes, it will push you into the wall instead of backwards, and so you can literally just push your way past the knockback. Just scoot right past it. Using a bomb trigger, just skip the need for Frog Song. And then we just walk right through the dragon's hitbox, because who needs to fight a dragon? Looks like Wolfos got first try Rooster Skip. Very good. Now going AWOL. So DA is also normally a very long dungeon, but thanks to super jumps and lava swimming, we actually skip a very large majority of it. Very nice. Hookshot on B, always. Allows us to do a trick called Bookshot. If you have Hookshot on B and Feather on A, you can basically clip through that wall down there. Oh, okay. Blano giving it a little bit of trouble, but kills him fine. Oh, excuse me. Basically, when you have Bookshot on B and Feather on A, and you hookshot into a hookshotable target, it'll actually pull you towards the target faster, and if you're on the right pixel there, that will actually cause you to clip just to the left, just a tiny bit, very similar to a flock clip, and allow you to just boost right through that key block. So now he's going to lava swim here. Fortunately, has to reset up the super jump here. There you go. If he hits, please cooperate. There we go. So if you slash your sword when you land in lava like this through a transition, you can swim in lava. Congratulations. Note, you still need flippers to swim. Getting the only other key we actually need in this dungeon, dealing with the ropes and the fire. Now, we kind of mentioned this before, but Cue Ball, you know, we showed him some mercy in D4, let him live, but Cue Ball decided he wasn't having that. He wanted us to fight him like a real man. So he climbed all the way up to Mountain, so that we could fight him here in D8, just to get beat. I don't know what he was thinking. He could have lived. He would have just stayed down that mountain. Very nice setup for the Roomba room here. I should look into that. Basically, you can still move while moving that Roomba around. You can't move with your D-pad though, but you can move by jumping through the air. So you can set yourself up to be in a better position towards the chest when the Roomba ends. But now, with a collection of these arrows, he's going to do a Jesus jump off of this lava here. A Jesus... There we go. A little bit of trouble with it, but getting a third try. The super jump across the lava here, and then we get to fight Hot Boy. Or Hot Dude, or Hot Face, or Hot Man, whatever you want to call him. He is hot. And also a nightmare to deal with sometimes. one of the jankiest bosses and one of the jankiest rooms. The hot guy fanfic is still happening. Exactly. Dang it, I just totally skipped over the Goomba Surf. Wolfos opting not to do Goomba Surf, not to take that 25% chance of saving a few seconds. Instead doing the P-Hat skip. It's much more reliable. But we'll now head up and also fight Evil Eagle. Carl's Hothead fight is down. Now that we're done with Dungeon 8, we're going to go back and finish Dungeon 2. 25%. Exactly. Heavy air quotes. Just like how Horseheads is 25%. But yes, so now that we're going back to Ooh, did she do bombs? Man, I have a bad habit of looking away at the wrong time. Bomb strats are always fun to watch. Evil Eagle will go down to 3 bombs. Believe it or not, birds are weak to bombs. You don't see it too often, but it's always very satisfying to see. But anyway, so yeah. We head back to D2 now, because now that we have all of this equipment, all these very overpowered items, we can just... Oh, well, unfortunately Carl killed the wrong enemy there. Or killed the enemy in the wrong order there. So this is the room where you get the Nightmare Key. As a kid, you probably struggled, in all caps, in trying to figure this out, unless you were smart and read the owl hint. Oh no. But yeah, basically you have to kill those 3 enemies in a certain order in order to unlock the Nightmare Key in that room. Wolfos once again. Once again we see Wolfos skipping Marin over here. She crazy. She put herself on that bridge. You can't convince me otherwise. Shed a leg, please! 25% of the time works every time. Was it really? I did not have access to that. Oh no! I don't think Carl was quite clipped into the wall there. This boss, normally laughably easy, unless you don't clip into the wall. You normally have to throw his pot against the wall 3 times, but if you can clip into that wall up there and face left, and then throw him, it just breaks the pot instantly because the pot has nowhere to go. And then also getting very nice quick kill as the magic rod kills him in 2 hits. Yeah, unfortunately growing up I did not have access to Nintendo Power or the Nintendo Hotline. I was a young, dumb, sheltered kid. Didn't have nice things. Oh, you gotta kill that. There we go. Okay. So now that Carl has his final instrument, he is going to head to the mountain to finish the game. While Wolfos proceeds into D8. Wonderful. Now all rise for our national anthem. Beautiful. Alright, while that was happening, Wolf was very quickly getting to Blano. Dealing with him very easily. Looks like Carl is not really on PB pace anymore, fortunately. Lost quite a bit of time to D8 and D2 revisit. Wolfos, however, is currently a minute ahead of her PB. I think she could still very easily PB this run. So, Carl's going to do a few things here. He's going to start attempting to get Skip here, which he successfully does. I guess it's not quite over yet. I don't know if did he clip in the wall there? Yes, he did. Okay. So he's fine. So Blob, taken care of. Now there is a manip you can do for Aghanim here. Anti-Kirby in D7. Oh, don't worry, there's still one more race. Today, later tonight. Or evening, or morning. Depending on where you're watching from. Okay, one blue ball from Aghanim. So unfortunately, no manip today. 2 blue balls. If you ever played Link to the Past and were just absolutely frustrated with the number of blue balls that Aghanim gives you in that 50-50 chance, well, don't worry, we have to struggle with it too. Oh no. Don't you bring that back. Alright. Taking care of Aghanim without too much trouble. Nice quick kill on Moldorm here. Oh, nope, I lied. Got away. Very quickly taking care of him, nonetheless. Ganon face. We just run into him with our face a few times. We put our sword on our face, so it's okay. Shh! I don't want to hear it. I want to say it, but I'm not going to say it. Instead, I'll look over here and talk about Hothead real quick. Man, Wolfos had a pretty decent Hothead fight, actually. And there it is, with 2 arrows remaining. I was a little worried about his arrow count, but it looks like he did just fine. We'll see if we can get Carl here for an interview. Looks like he has a final time of 56:40. Very respectable time. Alright. Wolfos making her way back through D2 revisit here. First gotta check, make sure that pot's heavy enough. It is. So now we'll jump over the pot. Head through the 2D section of D2 with definitely not Mario enemies once again. And once again, killing these enemies in a very specific order in order to unlock the Nightmare Key. Welcome, Carl.
Hello.
So GG on the race.
Thank you.
How do you feel you did?
I did a lot worse than I hoped I would do, but I'm just glad I finished.
Looks like you were having a pretty good run up until D8, looks like.
Yeah, D8 I messed up pretty much every room, several times. So yeah.
Very unfortunate, but it happens from time to time.
Yep.
You have any highlights of your race that you were really proud of?
I'm happy I got the pit walk, at least.
Yes, pit walk, always very exciting to watch. It looks like you actually saved 20 seconds on your D6 split as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could have saved like 20 seconds more, I think. It's a lot of time save on that run.
Oh yes, we want to thank you for showing us the flame jet cave twice. Thank you for that.
Don't know how that happened, but it happens.
It's very entertaining. I was just telling people about how it worked, and then you decided to jump down and show it again, get that instant replay for us.
Yeah,
Very nice. Meanwhile, we got Wolfos over here. She is almost guaranteed to get a PB here, I think. She is currently 3 minutes and 22 seconds ahead.
Yeah, that's nice.
So it looks like with this one, you'll actually be going up against Astronomus in the round 2 losers bracket. How do you feel?
Gonna need some godly luck to win that one.
It will be a good race nonetheless.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're very close to PBing again. You just got to clamp the end of the run there a little bit, and you will be. I don't know. Your sum of best is 53. I mean, that's not bad, honestly. I think you can get there with a little more practice, pretty easily.
Yeah, it's just a lot of choking going on in the late game. Got the early game down pretty good, I think. At least pre D3, at least. And then it's a downward spiral right after. Because I always manage to die on Armos Knight and sometimes in D6 like I did in the tile room. Yeah, PB should be coming very soon.
Absolutely. Sorry, we just totally talked through all of the national anthem there. I apologize, guys. Don't worry, we'll hear it many more times in the future. But yes, your D6, or no, sorry, not your D6. Your Armos Knight is very clean.
Could have been a little better, but it was good.
Yes, unfortunately, that death in the pit tile room.
Yeah.
Classic death. Those tiles can be very deceptive sometimes, very wily. Wolfos now entering the nightmare fight here. Uh-oh, choosing not to do blob skip. Unfortunately, not getting the text skip either. So we get to see a good old-fashioned nightmare fight here. Yes, with epic boss music.
Seems like she's going for the backup.
Oh. Doesn't look like she quite got it, unfortunately. Let's see how nice Agnew decides to be to her today. 2 so far. Come on, Agaton, what are you doing? I'm getting flashbacks to some of my past runs this tournament now.
Unfortunate.
There we go, there's a third. There we go. Alright. Stop it, he's dead! Alright. As usual, the nightmare fight. Want to push him back into the corner, put baby in the corner, then shoot him in the eye 16 times. I think that was 7 so far. 15, 14. Unless I'm wildly miscounting here. Nope. There we go. This will indeed be a PB for whitewolfos. Gives her a final time of 105.42. It looks like 105.39 according to her splits. Alright, we'll pull her in for an interview here. Hello, welcome.
Ooh,
Congratulations on the PB.
thank you, thank you. I really need to learn how to do Quick Kill Genie. I've like 100% forgotten. It's always at the very end of the run, so I always forget to like actually learn it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I messed up the quick kill as well, I think.
Oh yes, that's right, Carl. I don't think you were quite clipped in the wall on that first throw, were you?
Yeah, and even though I made sure to get clipped, messed it up anyways.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I could like remembered it more right after I did it. I was like, I didn't set myself up at all. Oops.
Pretty. Once you've gotten clipped in that wall, just all you have to do is face that wall, throw him in, and then just keep magic riding the wall until he runs into the fire himself.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Otherwise, how do you feel about the rest of your run? What are you proud of? What did you like? What do you think you need more improvement on?
I think it went much better than my run versus TGH. I mean, I still lost, but oof, that TGH run did not go well. But this one actually, for the most part, worked out.
Nobody can beat TGH. He's
no,
crazy.
I wasn't going in expecting to beat TGH, but like the run itself was really terrible. Because I didn't know that in D5, if you kill the Stalfos and the first version of the Stalfos in a certain way, like the subsequent versions won't spawn correctly. And I didn't know that was a thing, and I just lost so much time going back and forth, being like, "What? Where are you, Master Self?" So that didn't happen this time, which is good.
Indeed, as long as you pick up that first key, you're flying smooth the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah.
So it looks like you saved a whole minute in, was it the D6 to D4? So your escape, I'm guessing is where you saved a lot of time there?
Yeah, it's I haven't done that run this much. So there's like places to save time in general. I was going to do a bunch of practice runs this week, but work being work.
I feel that 100%. So, once again, GG's, guys. I know we've got one more LADX race coming up later today, but Ricky, why don't you tell us what else we got going on?
Absolutely. Coming up on the schedule in 1 hour on this channel, we have the Wind Waker Randomizer Season 4 Tournament lower bracket semifinals between Tanjo 3 and J-Wiz. They'll be doing Game 1, followed immediately by Game 2. At 9 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time, we have the Link's Awakening DX any percent tournament match between Mashi and Phantom Matt. So that's pretty hype. And at midnight Eastern Time tonight, we have the Majora's Mask Randomizer Season 2 Qualifier number 16. So, action-packed night for Zelda Racing. Are you all ready to sign off?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I'm all good here.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so thank you to our runners called Johan and whitewolfos. That was an awesome race to watch. And thank you to Pink Batman for commentating solo. Did a fantastic job. I hope everyone had a great time watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!
Bye-bye.